Top Gun 1990 was professionally hosted by the Arizona Model Aviators of Mesa, Arizona. Over 30 manufacturers joined together to help sponsor this prestigious event, which was held the last weekend of April 1990. Primary sponsors were Pacer Technology, makers of ZAP, the Total Adhesive System, and Model Airplane News. Top Gun has become one of the premier scale contests in the world. It differs from the rest by offering stringent rules, trained judges, and a substantial purse. You cannot show up at Top Gun to compete without an invitation. You are invited to Top Gun based on your previous year's performance, your credibility as a top scale model builder and flyer, and recognition by your peers. This year's event not only had local and national TV coverage, but was attended by almost every scale magazine editor throughout the world. The Top Gun Steering Committee promised intense competition from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and on that point they delivered exactly what they promised. After each day's competition, Top Gun offered a relaxed atmosphere of cocktails and dinner parties where anyone who wished could attend.
Hi everybody, I'm Frank Tiano.
And I'm Brian O'Mara from Denver.
We'd like to welcome you to the second annual Top Gun Invitational here at Mesa, Arizona. It's Thursday morning. We're just doing some test flying and having the static judging completed. What's the temperature today, Brian?
It looks like it's going to be probably in the high 90s with a little bit of wind right straight down the runway, we hope.
90s ain't too bad, though, here in Mesa, I guess, because the humidity is low, right?
Only 7% humidity they expect today.
7% humidity. Although I'm told we could be looking for some extra sensitive needle valve settings. Why is that?
Because of the heat, cowled-in engines, and generally the engine's going to overheat a little bit at pushing 100 degrees.
And what's the altitude here?
About 1,200 feet. I'm from Denver, and that's not going to bother me too much because I'm coming down, but some of the people from sea level might have a little bit of a problem with the air density.
I understand. Anyway, watch the video. You're going to see 50 of the top pilots in the country. You're going to see about 4 or 5 team scale entries. We got a lot of twins, a lot of jets, and we'll check in with you when it's over.
Great.
Before we get into the program, we'd like to whet your appetite by showing you some of the aircraft you'll be seeing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Here's Charlie Nelson's Wacko. Charlie does two things very well. One, he builds Wackos because he loves them, and two, he gets better every year. This airplane spans 76 inches, it weighs 16 pounds, and uses an OS 91 four-stroke for power. Charlie took 6th place this year. That meant a few $100s in cash, an armload of prizes, and the respect of about 45 other guys. Charlie's pit crew this year, for the first time, utilized his wife. And she did a very good job. I asked her later on if she was a little bit nervous. She said, yeah, I was, but Charlie didn't yell at her too much.
Charlie Nelson first into the... Charlie Nelson on left to right, goes to Wacko, BKS 7F.
Marin RC.
Oh.
The Top Gun requires a slow flyby and a fast flyby, and the judges look for the discrepancy between the two speeds of the two flybys, as well as the airplane's ability and the pilot's ability to handle the airplane at low speeds. The guys that did flybys without flaps and without the gear down, etc., probably were downgraded, as opposed to someone who did slow the airplane up with whatever means were available to him. Here's Charlie's landing with his Wacko. He does a real good job with this airplane.
Down on the runway. Another beautiful aircraft. Around
Here we have Jeff Foley's Dave Platt Zero. Jeff comes from Raleigh, North Carolina, and he's got the clip wing version here, done in the unusual gray scheme. After a couple of shakedown flights, Jeff really got his act together, and he wound up finishing 3rd overall. You just saw him on a slow flyby, and here's his fast flyby here. Very smooth flying airplane. Here's his landing. A little hairy on the landing, but notice how both wheels eventually touch at the same time. He eventually went on to post some of the highest flight scores at the contest. Bob Fry from Phoenix just didn't have time to build a Top Gun airplane, so he brought this old P-51 he's had laying around for a few years. The Flying Undertaker was flown with a bad engine, some old retracts, and who knows what else. Eventually, it died. Somehow, Bob Fry placed 22nd. This was one of his better takeoffs. There's the landing gear doors hanging up. Wild Bill McCauley from Tampa, Florida, did this excellent P-40 built from Jerry Bates plans. Bill got 11th place this year, the highest he's placed yet, I believe, in a Masters or a Top Gun tournament. This airplane uses a Super Tiger 2500 that is, for power. The airplane's 80 inches in span, it weighs 18 pounds. It's 1/5 scale, and yes, it's a P-40N version. Bill uses retracts, which are scale. They pivot in the proper location. He uses a drop tank option, and the airplane uses flaps. The reason why you see some of these airplanes bobbing around so much is we did have some pretty stiff crosswinds on both Saturday and Sunday. And at times, the wind would change 180 degrees without notice. Bing would be there. You can tell from the flights of these various aircraft coming up when the wind was howling and when it wasn't. Let's watch Bill McCauley's landing. Sorry about all the people that kept running in the way, but when you got 15,000 people all around you, it's kind of tough to find a spot.
P-40N on landing. Bill McCauley, soften him up a little bit.
28 by Ken Trainer was at top.